Hey guys, Camper15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I am back with another Alya Hides Her Feelings in Russian. For once, I'm actually reviewing the show on a Wednesday. Now it's Wednesday night, and this video obviously has went up on Thursday morning, but I digress. I pre-recorded on Wednesday night instead of just putting it for off till next week essentially, so when I record it. Oshinoko, don't worry, it's coming. I'll record that video tomorrow night and hopefully get that up probably Friday night. Now, if you're understanding the reason why these videos are getting up a day later or a few days later than when the episode airs, it's simple. By the time I get home from work, because it's a very long drive for me, it's basically late. I eat, and by the time I'm done eating, it's almost 8 o'clock, going on 9 o'clock. You get my point. Tired, exhausted, work tires the hell out of me. Anyways, moving on with the situation. Alya Hides Her Feelings in Russian, episode 8. I enjoyed this episode. You get your funny moments. You get another Yuki funny moment. Again, what more do I have to say about Yuki? Now, I will say, even though I enjoyed Yuki's on-screen thing and her scene was hilarious, I would say this is probably the weakest one out of all the Yuki scenes we've gotten in this entire show up to this point. Hold on a quick second. Hold on. I'm sorry. But I was just saying, again, this Yuki moment's not bad. I'll say, Jesus, in my opinion, it was the weakest Yuki segment we've gotten in the show's run up until this point. It is. And basically her scene was the fact is, after seeing basically the debate, she kind of, I guess you could say, hysterically, or I guess you can say jokingly, it's like, my brother could have finished off her a long time ago, if he wanted to, but he just took the easy side, so he ended up being a big softy about it. And basically, Ayano was like, well, I thought him and Alya did a pretty damn good job, and she was just like, you're killing the mood. See, I'm supposed to say what I'm supposed to say to make me look cool like a damn boss character. And you get the funny moment where she's just blowing a fan on herself and everything. And then you have it where Aino's like, I don't think you're supposed to be eating or drinking anything in this room. Because she was doing the lighting, right? And then Aino makes a good point. She's like, wait a second. If you're apparently the boss character, then wouldn't the boss lose? And I'm just like, oh, Ayano's actually saying something smart for once. I'm not saying like last week when we were introduced the character, she's saying something dumb. But I was just like, oh, she's actually saying something actually pretty damn smart. And everything. Because Yuki was like, see, you're supposed to catch on with this thing. And she's like, oh, yeah, now, I don't know. Maybe she just acted like that because maybe she's knowing oh, shit. Because I mentioned, I thought they were actually pretty damn good. Especially when Alya was especially 100% focused and didn't get thrown off her game from that little backhanded comment. Right, so I don't know maybe if Yuki maybe just said that because maybe deep down she's like, oh shit, I'm in trouble. I might actually have a legitimate challenge. I was thinking maybe I could just get by, but oh shit, no, I actually might have to actually work my ass off to try to win this thing. So maybe it was just a way to try to hype herself up or whatever. I think I did see her have a sweat drop across her face or whatever. So maybe that's saying from the fact of hey, they were great. Oh, great. So yeah. And then the last bit of the episode before I talk about the main part of the episode, which I thought was absolutely hilarious, because what happens is, before the debate, Alya's looking amongst the student body essentially, and she kind of looks like, okay, she might get intimidated or whatever, but then Masachika helps her snap out of it by just saying kind of an inappropriate comment by saying hey, aren't your cups like E cup or whatever? And she was like, wait, what the frick? And that got her to snap in. And so once the debate ends and they talk again at the end of the episode, because that actually leads into the thing which I also want to talk about, because she asked Masachika, like, okay, why are you running alongside me? I'll talk about that in a second. And you get this funny scene after he explains why he's doing this. They kind of walk off and everything. Or one, she says something in Russian to him. Now, they don't show the English text of what she said. And it was basically because Masachika asked her, like, so why did you decide to even let me run alongside you? Now, legitimately, as I drink my juice, because the mint in my mouth was too damn strong. When she said that, I'm like, did she say I love you or something? And the reason why I say that is this. So following up after she said that scene, she then presses Masachika. She's like, all right. How did you, who told you this information that apparently I have an E cup? And and Masachika like, well, he ain't gonna rat Yuki out. Because then he's just like, well, you see, I just know there's a girl that I know that apparently heard or saw or did something, heard a rumor about it. And she then reiterates in Russian, she's like, well, you're correct, barely. And Masachika heard that and they showed that. And I'm just like, let me get something straight. Again, mind you, I was watching this, before I went into work today. And when I heard her say that and I read the damn subtitles, I was like, wait a damn minute. There is no way she basically confirmed that she is an E cup. On top of it, she also basically announced that and gave that away and told that to Masachika. Now, and again, like I've been saying for the past 7 episodes, she has no clue that he actually understands her and he actually knows Russian. But it's wild enough that even though she said it in Russian, she still fucking said it. Because it's like, well, then damn, you just essentially told a guy, oh yeah, you talking about my boob size. Yeah, that was basically correct. You might be slightly off, but you're essentially correct. I only think she only threw in the barely because she doesn't want to, completely say, well, you're actually 100% correct. I think she wants to, mess with him or whatever. But the fact that she admitted that, I'm like, when in the hell can you ask a girl up in public, hey, what's your cup size? And then next thing you know, they're like, well, this is my cup size. I'm telling you, I don't even know if a boyfriend would even ask a girlfriend that. Holy hell. One, she has, that's a pretty size boob size. Yeah. Okay, and then 2, that only further tells me okay, what she said early in Russian to him just a few minutes ago was the fact okay, she probably running alongside him, or she allowed him to run alongside him is because, well, she's in love with him. Because there's no way in hell you're confirming, well, yeah, I have this type of boob size, and you were right on the money, even though you said it in a different language. And Masachika picked up, he's like, wait, what? Barely? Huh? So now this man knows her boob size. This man knows her boob size. If that does not tell me, if this man does not wipe her up, bro. Again, I've been advocating that Yuki should be the winner. But if this man does not wipe her up, this woman literally told her cup size. That's all I'm going to say. Now, we do kind of get Alya kind of does get a little bit of an understanding of why Masachika is running alongside her. And he basically alludes that to guilt. Now, see, when I was watching this, I'm like, oh shit. And he talking about his past and everything. I'm just like, because she asked him so why did you actually decide to run with me and not alongside Yuki, right? And I'm just like, oh shit, is he gonna end up telling her Yuki, is somebody very special to me because she's my sister, and I feel this guilt because our parents divorced and I went with my father and left her when she more than likely needed me at a time of need in her life. Like I legitimately thought like he was gonna confirm like Yuki is his sister and everything, and that's when we're gonna get the whole her realizing like, oh shit, now she knows like, okay, Yuki is her sister. She don't have to be worried about Yuki anymore, right? But no, he doesn't say it. He talks about the fact like he feels guilty, but he doesn't tell her like in correlation of the reason why he feels guilty, and maybe all he's just thinking like, oh, maybe he did something to Yuki that must have done something that he felt really bad about or something, and he felt guilty. But you just kind of see it to where obviously his past is haunting him, and the fact that he feels like running alongside Alya compared to running alongside Yuki back then, because you could say back in middle school maybe he was doing it out of just the kindness of his brotherly heart to do it, to run alongside Yuki. But this time it seems like he's actually doing this to make up for what he did in the past. And he does even admit, talking about like how he chose to do this and he wants to do this, because he talks about like how the old him would have not wanted to do it. So it shows like he wants to change for the better and probably get over his past guilt, and his guilt of the fact like, I left my sister so long ago. I have this guilt from my whole family trauma of my parents divorcing. And then obviously with what happened last week, with the fact that it seems like his grandfather is upset that he didn't side with Yuki, he probably also wants to get over that hump to prove to his grandpa he can stay on his own 2 feet, and he doesn't need to help his sister or rely on his sister. And even then you can also say like, he wants his sister to grow on her own 2 feet and maybe not rely on him as much, and make it to where maybe Yuki grows as her own person and accepts who she is, and she doesn't have to worry about the brother stuff. Obviously it's not, obviously we know that he cares deeply about Yuki because that's his sister, and he feels guilty over the fact that he left her, because we do see a scene when he's explaining it. He's walking out of the estate, I'm guessing they were living in, with his father, and Yuki's just looking alongside out of the window. So that's the thing. It will be interesting actually if we actually end up getting her perspective, and maybe again like they mentioned last week about the mask that they're hiding and everything, maybe Yuki's masking her true feelings in terms of the fact that maybe she feels left out, and maybe she doesn't want her brother to be taken by somebody else, by another girl, because well that's the one dude that she actually loves, not in a romantic way but in a platonic family way, because maybe she has this fear like, well, if Alya takes away my brother from me, well, what's gonna be left for me? Is my brother gonna leave me high and dry again and he'll never talk to me again? It'll be very interesting if we ever get an episode focused on Yuki and maybe her fears, in terms of like her fears of the situation that it gave her, and maybe getting her perspective, and maybe how the divorce aided her and potentially how it affected her and everything, with the stress of upholding her family's name and everything. I really do hope maybe in the last closing episodes, maybe we do get, or maybe if it appears in hopefully what I would hopefully see in a potential season 2, maybe we get an episode or an arc focused around Yuki maybe getting over this past, because maybe we talk about Masachika having this trauma from his past and everything, and the divorce of his parents and everything. We never really truly understand. Maybe if Yuki's going through the same things, and maybe she feels guilty in her own ways and everything, maybe she feels afraid that the reason why she's sticking on her brother so much, and even though she's playing the whole active childhood friend in school, she wants to be near her brother because maybe she's afraid like, well, if my brother ends up getting taken by somebody else, by another girl, well then will he leave me like he did so many years ago? And maybe she's afraid because she doesn't want her brother to leave. She wants her brother to be by her side no matter what, because deep down maybe she's just a girl that feels more confident when her brother's by her side. And again, like Masha mentioned last week about them wearing the mask and everything, Masachika put them like, is she doing the otaku stuff because she's putting a mask? And he's like, no, that's real Yuki. Now that probably may be a real Yuki thing, but even though Yuki acting like a damn otaku all the time, that could also that potentially could be a mask thing right then and there, where maybe she's hiding her real self, and she's using this otaku thing as just it's a part of herself, but it's not her true self, really. And everything. So yeah. Who knows? I'm would be completely down if we get a Yuki focused episode about her deepest, darkest fears, and maybe, you know, like I said, maybe she is fearful of the fact, maybe she pressed Alya because, hey, you know, you're trying to take my brother away from me. I want to actually see, like, if you're good for him, because I don't want my freaking brother to be taken away by somebody who maybe doesn't value him as much as maybe I do. Because then if that's the case, then I want him all for myself. You know, there's a reason why maybe she there has to be a reason other than like maybe she wants to test Alya's will and courage and confidence in herself. There had to maybe be something. Maybe that's the fact, like, well, maybe I don't believe you're good for my brother, and I feel like if my brother just takes you and you take him away and you drop him to the curb, he's gonna be broken. When I don't want my brother to be taken away because of my own insecurities and my own fears, and I don't want to see another girl take him away from me, like he got taken away by my dad. And, you know, that's the thing. But very interesting discussion there. Very interesting discussion. I hope we end up getting an episode focused on Yuki's insecurities, because I think that would be a really good episode to be a focus on, right? And then obviously the main talking point was the student debate thing, and basically the debate was kind of centered around like, oh, so the girl that was basically saying the slanderous things to Masachika and Alya, which I'll get into in a bit, because holy hell, man. It was basically the stance of like, okay, her stance was like, why students need to why teachers need to be involved in the student council work, and basically accept certain members accept certain members on the board, right? The student council, while Alya's group, Alya and Masachika's stance was like, no, we don't need teachers to do that. And they made some pretty good arguments. But personally, I kind of sided with Alya and Masachika's side, because it's like, well, at the end of the day, teachers gonna have to approve like a student council even happening. And yes, a teacher has every right to oversee what the student council does, because you would think that the president and vice president reports to whoever runs the teacher that runs the student council, basically ultimatum. But the thing is, the student council president and the vice president can select certain members to be included. And, you know, Alya made a good point of like, well, you're stripping that right away from the president and the vice president if they can't be able to choose who they feel is best qualified for the role. It's basically like what you see in American politics, well, I wouldn't say American politics, but democracy, you know, regular government, you know, things, you know, the leader or the quote unquote president or whoever's in charge of the country, they basically choose who they want to run alongside them to be their vice president, essentially. You know, it isn't the fact like, oh, hey, the people get to choose, or, you know, there's some higher power, you know, that chooses who runs alongside you, you know, and who you want to bring along. You know, it's the same thing. Like, again, President of the United States, you know, he can have his own treasurer and whatever and things like that, his own staff in the White Office, in the White House. You know, it isn't just, you know, okay, those positions are voted on, and things like that. You know, it's basically senator positions and other things, and Congress members that are voted on, right? You know, so Alya makes the point of like, it wouldn't be fair to the students to strip that right away from the student council president, the vice president, to select people, because at that case, then the teacher is only going to select who maybe they feel is best for the role. And guess what? Maybe that student doesn't want to do it because, well, but they had to do it because the teacher said so, right? And that takes away from the fact that it makes something special, you know? So, yeah, now listen, when in high school, or middle school and high school, I never was a part of this, you know, associated student body, because I didn't want to do all that shit. I didn't want to like make campaigns like, hey, vote for me and blah 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 blah, and record my own speech and everything and stuff like that, because it's like, really honestly, if you ask me, those things come down to strictly popularity, really reasons. Because I remember back in my high school, it was really only for people that were popular. Really, you would only vote for people that were popular. Like if they were the top of their class, they're the most well-known person in the school. You know, they probably are. They're probably gonna be your ASB president, because of it. So that's the thing. Anyways, at the end of the day, regardless. You get the resolution of this episode, and holy hell, man. As I end this review off, man, see, what happens is eventually Masachi, a backhanded comment is made, and then Masachi gets to step in because Alya was freaking out right then and there, and if not for Masachi saying what he had to say, Alya would have been probably the loser, right? So you have it to where then the current student council president basically is like, all right, time for closing thoughts. And the freaking chick runs away. The same chick that was talking all this shit on Alya and Masachika. So then Alya catches up with her. And then basically you find out, well, she essentially did all this shit because she was upset and she was jealous of the fact of like, oh, well, Masachika chose you instead of choosing Yuki. And I was upset that, he didn't choose Yuki and everything. And I felt betrayed and everything about that. And, I felt because back then, like, I literally gave up because of those two. First things first, I don't know why she would even think about giving up or not even trying. Like, you would think in a competitive aspect, you want to beat your opposition so bad because you want them at their best. Because then if you do end up beating them, guess what? You tried your damn hardest, and guess what? I did it. I achieved the mountain. And even if you do lose, again, like I mentioned, at the end of the day, you tried your hardest. It just didn't go in your favor. But the fact that this girl was talking about how she was upset and she felt betrayed that Masachika didn't choose Yuki and he chose you, it just made me realize altogether. It just made me feel like this girl literally came across as just a whole ass bitch. And literally just freaking basically said all these rude, insensitive things about Alya, talking about how she probably used her body and her feminine charm to attract Masachika to run alongside her, and saying all the detestable things she said about Masachika. At the end of the day, she was being a whole bitch. And honestly, I don't give a crap. They did their best to explain why she did what she did, but honestly, I could give no two F's for crying out loud. I was like, F you, F the ground that you stand on, and I do not give a shit about what you do in the future. Honestly, if they ever have her come on again on this show, I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap what she does. She could do something in the future of this series, which can get people to like her a lot more as a character, but after this moment, I'm like, man, please. You just got in your feelings because you were all upset that this hierarchy or this, pairing you thought was going to happen again in high school was going to happen again, or that happened in middle school was going to happen again in high school. No. And Masachika straight up told you to your face, I chose this. This is my own decision. Alya had nothing to do with this. I chose to run alongside her. And then she wants to be a whole bitch and doing all this talking and this back talking and everything last week at the end of the episode, and then guess what, when the going gets freaking tough and she basically has nothing else to reply to, she ends up running off like a little coward. I don't give a crap. I do not give a crap. I do not like that character. I will not like that character. I hate that character. I hate characters that just ooze this, oh, I'm gonna talk shit about you, I'm gonna say all these horrible things about you, and then the next thing you know, you see an episode or two later, they running around and they basically cower in fear, and they basically get, oh, no, stand on what you said. I hate people like that. I really hate people, not only in shows like that, but I hate people in real life that talk all this massive game, they actually get shut up for a bit, and then guess what, they got nothing to back it up, or they got nothing to say, and then boom, they just are quiet, and it's so freaking hilarious. So hilarious, right? So it's absolutely stupid, man. It's absolutely stupid. I hate this girl. I hope I don't ever see her again in the rest of the show, because the fact that that was her reason why she talked so rude to Alya and Masachika last week, man, please. And she talked about like, you know, I'll apologize, and you know, to them. I'm like, Ninja, if I was Master Chica and Alya, I wouldn't. And I heard that, I would be like, you ain't getting no damn apology from me. I remember what she said about me. So please, you can kick rocks. You can keep your damn apology. You made bed with what you did and what you said. So either you deal with it and you live on that and you stick on that and you stay on your ground, or stand on your business, or I guess you can say that. Stay, you know, that's the thing. But this episode was another good episode. I enjoyed it. I very much enjoyed it, and I continue to enjoy Alya Hides Her Feelings in Russian. But we will see. We will see what happens next. But anyways, if you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts. Hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Alya Hides Her Feelings in Russian content, or any other anime content I upload to the channel. Till then, guys, stay safe out there and have a great rest of your day or night. Reach on this video. Till then, guys, peace.